Whether you are an asset builder or an EPC contractor, managing, verifying and certifying applications for payment takes a lot of time and effort. There is a mountain of data to analyse, and it has to be done within a certain time frame to comply with contract or legal obligations. If you don't meet these obligations, you may have to pay a fine or settle a claim. The speed of verification has to be balanced with the quality of analysis, because a mistake costs money if it turns out to be an overpayment. ProCon automates much of the payment application and certification process, which leaves more time for valuable resources to perform quality analyses. This reduces exposure to costly mistakes, fines and claims, and improves cash flow management. Christina is responsible for managing contracts in ProCon and ensuring that they are configured and executed in accordance with organisation best practice and the terms of the contract. When a contractor submits an application for payment to the company, it must go through a verification process before a payment certificate can be issued by the company to ensure that the values are correct. To make this process easier, the line items specified in the contract can be added to ProCon for use in communications. These line items include the agreed units of measure, unit prices, and not to exceed or committed quantities. 2 line item collections have been automatically created for the contract. The bill of quantities will contain line items which have an agreed price and committed quantity. The schedule of rates line items give the price per unit for goods and services used in the contract. Colin is responsible for sending communications to the contractor and dealing with communications received from the contractor. He has received an application for payment which the contractor created and sent using ProCon's contractor portal. Because the contractor populated the AFP using line items that had been previously created, Colin knows that the unit rates are correct. He can verify quantities using the timesheets that were attached to the AFP. At all times, Colin can see how many days are remaining before he must respond to the contractor to comply with the contract or local legal obligations. To aid deep analysis, ProCon also monitors previous commitment and expenditure on this contract. Colin can see from the amber highlighting that the number of kilograms of sheet metal work used in the contract will exceed 80% of the committed quantity if this AFP is agreed. He can also see from the red highlighting that the number of square metres of halo bond specified in the communication will exceed the quantity that has been committed to in the contract. He can negotiate this value with the contractor and update it in the communication before the AFP is agreed. By automating much of the payment application and certification process for both client and contractor, key personnel have more time to perform quality analyses. This significantly reduces exposure to costly mistakes, fines and claims, and improves cash flow management.